keep replaying their words, their silence, the way they left. You tell yourself it's love, but deep down, you know it's pain dressed up as hope. Holding on doesn't make you loyal. It keeps you small. It keeps you hurting. It's time to let go. Not because you stopped caring, but because you finally started caring about yourself. This is where healing begins, when you release what was never yours to keep. Chapter 1. Face the brutal truth. They don't want you. It's time to face the brutal truth. They don't want you. You've been lying to yourself, caught in denial. That denial is a trap, and it's tightening around your heart. You think you see love in their silence, in their half-hearted promises, in the space between their words and actions. But love does not live there. Love shows up. Love stays. Love doesn't leave you waiting for a call that never comes, or staring at your phone, hoping for a message that fades away like a ghost in the night. You have to stop pretending. That maybe they'll change, that soon they'll realize what you mean to them, that just one more chance will fix everything. None of it is real. It's fantasy. It's a story you tell yourself to keep the hurt at bay, but the truth is plain. They don't want you. Not really. Not enough to fight for you or to show up when it counts. Denial is seductive because it softens the blow. It's easier to believe they're busy, overwhelmed, or just misunderstood than to admit you're not a priority. But denial doesn't heal, it wounds. It deepens the cut. Every time you make excuses for them, every time you convince yourself that their actions don't matter as much as their words, you're feeding a heart that's starving. Emotional starvation looks like waiting for calls that never come, like hoping for texts that die mid-conversation, like clinging to promises that dissolve into thin air. You deserve better than emotional starvation. You deserve someone who doesn't make you question your worth with every missed call or every ignored message. You deserve a love that doesn't feel like chasing shadows or piecing together fragments of attention. So stop. Stop chasing ghosts. Stop waiting for someone who's mentally checked out, physically absent, or emotionally unavailable. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power from the hands of someone who doesn't want to hold it. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanation to move on. What you need is to look at the facts and accept them. They already showed you who they are. Their actions, not their promises, tell the truth. Look at the pattern, not the exceptions. Notice how their presence fades just when you need it most. Notice how their attention is a flicker, not a flame. Notice how you're always the one reaching out, the one hoping, the one waiting. That pattern is not love. It's neglect. It's absence dressed up as affection. And it's killing you softly, piece by piece. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure that won't come. You have to stop hoping that if you're just patient enough, just understanding enough, just forgiving enough, they'll change. They won't. Not because they can't, but because they don't want to. And the hardest part about this truth is that it's not about your worth or your value. It's about their inability or unwillingness to meet you where you are. This isn't your failure. It's theirs. But you carry the pain. You carry the scar. You carry the empty space where love should have been. And the only way to heal that is to stop feeding that space with false hope and start filling it with truth. Your truth. Start by saying no to the lies you tell yourself. No to the maybe next time. No to the I'll wait a little longer. No to the they're just busy. Instead, say yes to yourself. Yes to your feelings. Yes to your pain. Yes to your need for real love, real care, real presence. Begin to set boundaries that protect your heart. Stop answering their calls when it's inconvenient for you to feel hurt again. Stop checking your phone at 2 a.m. to see if they've texted. Stop scrolling through old messages looking for signs that they care. These actions keep you stuck. They keep you trapped in denial. Instead, create space. Space to breathe. Space to grieve. Space to remember who you are outside of their absence. Reach out to your support system. Find someone who sees your pain without judgment. Someone who reminds you that you're worthy of love that doesn't leave you hanging. Talk it out. Write it down. Cry it out. Do whatever it takes to get the hurt out of your body, because hiding it under denial only makes it fester. Also, start cultivating self-love practices that rebuild your confidence. Look in the mirror and say, I deserve better. Write yourself love letters. Celebrate your small victories. Treat yourself with the kindness and respect that someone else refused to give. This is not selfish. This is survival. You don't owe anyone your heart, especially not someone who doesn't want it. You don't owe explanations or fairness or second chances. You owe yourself honesty and healing. And honesty means seeing them clearly. Seeing that their absence is a statement, not an accident. Seeing that their indifference is a choice, not a phase. When you accept this, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of their neglect. You stop chasing what's not there. You start building a life where your heart is no longer an afterthought, but the center of your universe. It's painful, it's raw, it's brutal, but it's necessary, because you can't heal what you refuse to see. You can't move on if you keep pretending. You have to face the truth. They don't want you. And when you finally do, you begin to step into a new chapter. A chapter where you stop glorifying pain as loyalty. A chapter where you understand that suffering for someone who doesn't care is not noble or brave. It's self-sabotage. You have to let go. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. And you deserve a love that shows up, stays, and chooses you every day. Not just in words, but in actions. So look at the facts. Feel the pain. Accept the truth. Then turn away from the ghosts and start walking toward yourself. The journey isn't easy, but it's the only way out of this heartbreak. And the only way forward is to stop glorifying pain as loyalty. Chapter 2. Stop glorifying pain as loyalty. Pain is not proof of love. It's proof of self-neglect. When you stay awake at night, replaying every moment, every word, every look, don't fool yourself into thinking that makes you loyal. It doesn't. It makes you vulnerable. Vulnerable to more heartache, more emptiness, more confusion. You are not showing love by sacrificing your peace for someone who won't fight for you. You are showing betrayal. Betrayal to the most important person in your life, yourself. Think about that. Sacrificing your own peace, your own sanity, for someone who doesn't care enough to do the same for you. That's not love. That's not loyalty. That's self-abandonment. You have been taught to believe that pain equals devotion. That if you hurt enough, if you suffer enough, you're proving something. But here's the brutal truth. Pain is never proof of love. Pain is proof that you are tolerating less than you deserve. Every night you lie awake, trapped in the past, you're not honoring your heart. You're hurting it. You're telling yourself that staying loyal means staying trapped. But loyalty starts with something else entirely. It starts with respect for your own heart. It starts with self-love, not suffering. You don't need to stay up all night thinking about them to prove your loyalty. You don't need to replay painful memories over and over. You don't need to let your mind torture you with what ifs and if onlys. None of that is loyalty. It's self-punishment. It's a slow erosion of your worth. You have to stop glorifying pain. Stop romanticizing the idea that being hurt makes you a better lover. It doesn't. It makes you a victim of your own misplaced devotion. You have to stop confusing endurance with love. Endurance is a survival skill, not a relationship strategy. Here's what you need to hear. Your pain is a signal. It's your heart screaming for respect. When you let pain dominate your thoughts and your nights, you're ignoring that signal. You're ignoring your heart's desperate plea for care and kindness from yourself. You deserve better than pain. You deserve peace. You deserve to feel safe inside your own mind. The first step toward healing is to stop believing that pain is proof of love. It's not. Pain is proof that something is wrong. Pain is proof you need to change how you treat yourself. You have to choose respect for your own heart over false devotion to someone who doesn't deserve your loyalty. When you choose yourself, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world that you matter, that your feelings matter, that your peace matters. This means making hard choices. It means setting boundaries with your own thoughts. When your mind drifts back to them, to what they said, to what they didn't say, catch yourself. Say out loud or in your mind, "This isn't loyalty. This is pain. I choose peace instead." You have to stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. Waiting for closure from someone who doesn't care is like waiting for the sun to rise at midnight. It won't happen. Don't let your heart be held hostage by their absence or indifference. Instead, give yourself the closure you deserve. Write a letter you don't send. Speak your truth into the silence. Say what you needed to hear, what you wanted to say. Then let it go. This is about you reclaiming your power, not about them giving you permission to heal. Loyalty to yourself is an act of courage. It means you stop glorifying the pain you've endured. It means you stop mistaking suffering for love. It means you start caring for yourself the way you wish they had cared for you. It means you start to heal. Healing doesn't come from holding onto the pain. Healing comes from letting go of the story that pain equals devotion. Healing comes when you stop punishing yourself with memories and start nurturing yourself with kindness. Every time you catch yourself glorifying pain, remind yourself, "I deserve respect. I deserve peace. I deserve love that doesn't hurt." Say it again. Say it loud. Say it until you believe it, because that belief is the foundation of your healing. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their recognition to move on. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go of the idea that suffering is noble. It's not noble. It's damaging. You're not weak for feeling pain. You're strong for facing it and choosing yourself anyway. You're not disloyal for walking away from someone who won't fight for you. You're loyal to the most important person in your life yourself. Choose self-respect over false devotion. Choose peace over pain. Choose love for yourself over the illusion of loyalty to someone who doesn't care. This choice will hurt at first. It will feel like losing something you thought you couldn't live without. But what you gain is everything, chance to love yourself fully, without apology. When you start honoring your heart, you stop being a hostage to memories. You stop replaying painful moments that only deepen your wounds. You stop giving your power away to someone who already left. You reclaim your life. Remember, pain is not proof of love. It's proof of self-neglect. You are not proving loyalty by hurting yourself. You are proving that you've been holding onto something that never held onto you. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You need to stop waiting for closure. You need to stop glorifying pain as loyalty. You need to start choosing yourself. Because the loyalty that matters, loyalty that lasts, is the loyalty you give to yourself. The loyalty that says, I will protect my heart. I will honor my peace. I will love myself enough to walk away from what hurts me. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for something that will never come. They already showed you who they are. Now, it's time to show yourself who you are. Strong, worthy, whole. This chapter is a stepping stone. It's where you begin to cut the ties that bind you to pain disguised as love. Next, you will learn how to cut the rope, how to sever emotional dependence and reclaim your freedom. Because you deserve to live unchained from heartbreak and filled with self-love. Chapter 3. Cut the rope. Sever emotional dependence. Your happiness is not a puppet on their strings. Yet, here you are, holding on tight to a leash you can't see. Emotional dependence feels like love, but it's a trap. It's a chain that keeps you tethered to someone who doesn't even know you're holding on. You think you need their approval to feel whole. You think their attention is the air you breathe. But that's not love. That's survival mode. That's a habit of pain disguised as longing. When you wake up in the middle of the night, feeling empty and desperate for their validation, know this: you are not incomplete. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not less because they walked away or never gave you what you needed. That aching void inside you isn't proof that you need them. It's proof that you've been feeding your sense of worth from the wrong source. You've been reaching for a lifeline that's already snapped. You have to cut the rope. You have to stop waiting for them to fill the hole inside you. You have to stop believing that their approval is the key to your happiness. It's not. You are the key. You always were. Emotional dependence is a leash disguised as love, and it's time to free yourself. Free your heart. Free your mind. Free your soul. When you feel like you can't breathe without their attention, remember this: that feeling is a lie. It's a lie your mind tells you to keep you trapped. It whispers that you're nothing without them, that you're invisible without their gaze, that you're worthless without their words. But none of that is true. You are not less because someone else failed to see your worth. You are whole, even when they don't notice you. You are worthy, even when they don't say it. You are enough, even when they don't show it. Let's be clear, this isn't about them anymore. They already showed you who they are. They already made their choice. It's about you now. It's about reclaiming your power from the wreckage they left behind. You can't heal while your heart is still tied to their shadow. You can't grow if you keep watering a plant that's already dead. So how do you start? How do you break free from needing their validation to feel alive? It begins with practice. Daily practice. You have to remind yourself every single day that you are whole on your own, that your value is not dependent on their attention, that you are enough right now, just as you are. Start small. Look in the mirror and say it out loud. I am worthy. I'm enough. I am whole. Say it even if it feels like a lie. Say it especially when it feels like a lie. Because the truth you need to hear is buried under all the pain and doubt. You have to dig it out with your own hands. Stop scrolling through old messages, old photos, old memories. Stop replaying moments when they smiled at you, or when they said something that made you feel seen. Those moments don't define your worth. They don't make you whole. They are just fragments of a story that's over. Stop giving them power by living in the past. Instead, start filling your days with things that remind you who you are without them. Find your own voice, your own rhythm, your own light. Maybe it's a hobby you abandoned. Maybe it's a friend you stopped calling. Maybe it's a dream you shelved because you thought it wasn't realistic. Pick one thing and reclaim it. Make it yours again. Every time you catch yourself waiting for their approval, stop. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I don't need their validation. Repeat it until it sinks in. You don't need their permission to be happy. You don't need their attention to feel worthy. You don't need their love to be enough. This is hard. It's raw. It's lonely at times. But the rope you're holding, it's cutting into your skin. It's choking your soul. You have to let go. You have to release the grip on that invisible leash. You have to trust that you can stand on your own. Because you can. You have everything inside you already. When you stop relying on their approval, your world shifts. The weight on your chest lifts. The fog in your mind clears. You start to see yourself again, not the version they wanted you to be, not the version you thought you had to be to keep them interested, but the real you, flawed, strong, imperfect, and beautiful. You will stumble. You will fall back into old habits. You will feel that pull to look back, to check if they still care. That's normal. It's part of breaking free. But each time, remind yourself why you're doing this. Because your happiness can't hang on their approval or attention. Because you deserve freedom from that leash. Practice self-reliance like you practice breathing. It's essential. It's survival. When you feel yourself slipping, ground yourself in the truth that you are enough without them. Your happiness is yours to own. Your peace is yours to protect. Your heart is yours to heal. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their closure to move on. You don't need their return to be whole. You need you. And that's enough. This isn't about punishing yourself for loving someone who didn't care. It's about learning how to love yourself enough to walk away from what hurts you. It's about breaking the cycle that kept you trapped. It's about standing tall in your own light, without their shadow looming over you. Remember what you learned before. Pain is not proof of love. It's proof of self-neglect. When you keep waiting, hoping, and holding on, you're choosing pain over healing. You have to choose healing now. You have to choose yourself. Cut the rope. Sever that emotional dependence. It's the only way to reclaim your life. The only way to find peace. The only way to build a future where you are the priority. You faced the brutal truth. You've stopped glorifying pain as loyalty. Now you're ready for the next step, to grieve like a warrior, to own your loss fully. Because grief is not weakness. It's the path to freedom, the path to self-love, the path to a new beginning. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure. You have to believe that you are whole on your own, because you are. And that truth will carry you through the darkest nights until you see the dawn. Chapter 4. Grieve like a warrior. Own your loss fully. Grief is not a sign of weakness. It's not a pause or a break from healing. It's the battlefield where you fight to reclaim your heart, piece by piece. You can't rush through it. You can't pretend it's not there. Because denying grief delays healing. It doesn't erase pain, it buries it deeper, where it festers and poisons everything you try to build afterward. You have to let yourself feel everything. Cry until your eyes burn. Rage until your fists ache. Scream into the darkness when no one's listening. Feel every raw emotion fiercely and honestly. This is not a time for self-judgment or shame. This is the time to be your own fiercest protector. Because when you bottle up sorrow, it doesn't disappear. It turns into silent bitterness that seeps into every corner of your life, your friendships, your work, your future love. It turns you into someone you don't recognize. Closed off, angry, numb. Maybe you've been taught that grieving means weakness. That real strength means moving on quickly, getting busy, distracting yourself. Those lies have held you hostage. The truth is this: grieving is strength. It's the act of facing your pain head-on without flinching. It's the courage to sit with your broken heart, to look at the wounds and say, yes, this hurts. Yes, this is real, but I will get through it. That's not weakness. That's warrior strength. You've already faced the brutal truth. They don't want you. You've stopped glorifying pain as loyalty. You're beginning to cut the rope of emotional dependence. Now, you have to grieve like a warrior. Own your loss fully. Don't run from the hurt. Don't try to act like it's nothing. When you deny grief, you delay your healing. You keep the door open for confusion, for false hope, for endless what-ifs. You trap yourself in a limbo where your heart can't breathe. The pain will come out anyway. It always does. But it comes out twisted, tangled with bitterness and resentment. Every time you hold back tears because you think you need to be strong, you're stealing from yourself. Every time you swallow down your anger because you don't want to seem too much, you're robbing yourself of freedom. Freedom to feel. Freedom to heal. Freedom to move forward. Grief is not just sadness. It's rage, confusion, loneliness, fear. It's the flood of memories that hit you when you least expect it. It's the ache in your chest that won't go away. It's the nights when sleep won't come because your mind won't stop replaying everything. You have to let these feelings out. Don't edit yourself. Don't censor the pain. Your tears are not a sign of failure. They are a sign of honesty. Your screams in the dark are not a sign of weakness. They are a declaration. I am alive. I am hurting. But I am here. You don't have to carry this alone. But first, you have to face it yourself. Think about what happens when grief is bottled up. It turns into bitterness. A quiet, corrosive poison that eats away at your joy, your trust, your hope. It makes you suspicious of love. It makes you angry at yourself and the world. It isolates you because you don't want anyone to see the mess you're feeling inside. Bitterness is like a shadow that follows you everywhere, even when you think you're fine. You don't want bitterness to be your legacy. You want healing. You want peace. And that starts with owning your loss fully without shame, without fear, without rushing. So what does that look like in practice? Stop telling yourself you have to get over it quickly. Stop numbing your feelings with distractions or toxic relationships. Stop waiting for their apology or their recognition. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Start by creating space for your grief. Find a quiet place where you can be alone with your feelings. Let the tears fall. Let the anger roar. Write down every hurt, every betrayal, every hope that died. Say it out loud if you have to. This is your sacred time to grieve. Allow yourself to feel the depth of your loss. Remember, grief doesn't have a timeline. There's no right way to do this. Some days will be worse than others. Some moments will feel unbearable. That's okay. That's part of the process. Be gentle with yourself. You are a warrior fighting a silent battle. You deserve kindness from yourself and from others. Don't rush the healing. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Your pain is unique. Your healing will be too. Remember the lessons you've already learned. You faced the brutal truth. You stopped glorifying pain as loyalty. You began to cut the rope of emotional dependence. Now you grieve, fully, fiercely, honestly. When you grieve like this, you reclaim your heart. You take back the pieces that were scattered and broken. It won't be easy. It won't be quick, but it will be real. And real healing always starts with real grief. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their recognition to move on. You need yourself, your strength, your honesty, your willingness to sit with the pain until it softens. This is your fight, your heartbreak battlefield, and you are not alone. Every tear, every scream, every moment you face your grief head-on is a victory. It's a reclaiming of your power, piece by piece. So grieve like a warrior. Own your loss fully. Let the pain come out in its rawest form, because this is the foundation for everything that comes next. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for closure that will never come from them. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. The next step in this journey is learning how to reclaim your time. Stop obsessing over them. Stop giving them space in your mind and your heart. You're building a new life now. One where your happiness is not held hostage by someone who never cared enough to fight for you. Grieve fiercely, heal honestly, and then take back your time. That's where your freedom begins. Chapter 5. Reclaim your time. Stop obsessing over them. Obsessing is a cruel trick your mind plays on you. It rewires your brain to crave pain. You think about them constantly, replaying every word, every moment, every imagined future where things might have been different. But what you're really doing is feeding a hunger for her to hunger that keeps you stuck. It's a cycle that locks you in place, and the only way out is to break it. You have to redirect your focus. Stop letting your thoughts orbit around them like a planet caught in an endless, painful revolution. This isn't about willpower alone. It's about understanding what's happening inside your brain. When you obsess, your mind releases chemicals that feel like addiction. You crave the sting of heartbreak because it's become familiar. That's why it's so damn hard to stop. You're not weak. You're wired for this pain. But pain isn't proof of love. It's proof that you haven't reclaimed your control. You have to take that control back. You have to choose to fill your mental space with something else and nothing else. Start with the small, brutal steps. Delete their number. Don't just move it to a folder or archive it. Delete it. Block their social media profiles. Don't just mute or unfollow. Block. You're not being petty or cruel, you are protecting your healing. Every time you see their face pop up, every time a message notification makes your heart leap, you're pulling yourself back into the past. You're feeding the obsession. You have to banish those reminders. Let your phone be a safe space. Let your mind be a safe space. This is not about them anymore. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their texts, their photos, their occasional likes or comments. Those scraps only keep you tethered to a ghost of what was, or worse, what you wished it could have been. Let it go. Stop waiting for closure. Closure is a myth you tell yourself to delay moving on. The only closure you get is the closure you give yourself. Now reclaim your time. Your time is sacred. Guard it fiercely. Every second spent obsessing is a second lost to growth. Fill your days with new things, new hobbies, new friendships, new goals. Do things that make you feel alive, that make you feel like you're building something real. When you pick up a book, start a project, take a class, or even just go for a walk, you're sending a message to your brain. You're not stuck. You're moving forward. It doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be consistent. Even 5 minutes a day dedicated to something new chips away at the obsession. It's hard at first. Your mind will resist. It will scream. But what about them? Over and over. That's the addiction talking. You have to talk louder. You have to say, no. This isn't about them anymore. This is about me. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Friends who don't remind you of the past, but encourage your future. People who see your worth when you forget it yourself. You don't have to do this alone. Isolation feeds obsession. Connection starves it. Lean into those who support your healing journey. Remember, grief is not a pause, it's a battlefield where you fight to reclaim your heart. But you can't fight if you're chained to your pain. You have to cut those chains by cutting the ties that keep you stuck. Delete the number. Block the socials. Banish the reminders. And then fill that empty space with growth. Growth isn't just a distraction. It's a declaration. It's saying to yourself, I am more than this heartbreak. I am worthy of joy. I am capable of love starting with the love I give myself. Each new hobby, each new connection, each goal pursued is a brick in the foundation of your new life. Build it strong. Build it steady. This is hard work because it means facing the raw truth. You have to let go. You have to stop waiting for a sign, a text, a change in their heart. They don't want you. You've already seen that. You don't need to relive the pain to prove it. You need to prove it to yourself by moving on, by reclaiming your time, your energy, your life. Obsession is a thief. It steals your present and your future, leaving you trapped in a past that never was. Stop giving it the keys. Lock the door. Throw away the key. Protect your mind like you protect your body from harm. Your thoughts are sacred. Your time is sacred. Guard them fiercely. This isn't about pushing pain down or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about choosing where to place your energy. You can mourn your loss fully, but you don't have to live inside it. You can honor what was, but you don't have to live there. You can remember what you wanted, but you don't have to keep chasing what isn't real. Every moment spent obsessing is a moment not spent growing. Every thought about them is a moment stolen from your healing. You have to flip the script. You have to tell your brain, no more. You have to show yourself you're worthy of peace, even if they never cared enough to give it to you. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you, your growth, your healing, your future. The pain will fade, but only if you stop feeding it. Stop obsessing. Reclaim your time. Fill your days with life, not ghosts. You're not just surviving this heartbreak. You're fighting for your freedom. You're building a life where you don't need them. You're creating boundaries that protect your heart. Boundaries so strong that nothing and no one can break them down again. And that's where this journey leads next, building your boundary fortress. Because healing isn't just about letting go. It's about protecting what you fought so hard to reclaim. Chapter 6. Build your boundary fortress. You're tired. Tired of feeling like you're the problem when all you did was open your heart. But here's the truth. Weak boundaries invite heartbreak. They don't just open the door to paint thee, throw it wide open and invite it in like an unwelcome guest who never leaves. Saying no isn't rude. It's survival. You're not being mean or unreasonable when you protect yourself. Saying no is the first act of self-respect after the storm has torn through your soul. Maybe you've been there. You told yourself, I'll let them back in just as friends. It sounds harmless, even noble. But that's often just a trap. Because just friends with someone who doesn't value you the way you deserve, that door opens to old wounds, to late-night doubts, to the same heartbreak you're trying to escape. You think you're strong enough this time. You think you can handle it, but you can't. Not yet. Not when your heart is still raw and bruised. Letting them back in, just as friends, isn't closure. It's an invitation to keep bleeding. You have to define what you will accept. Not tomorrow. Not when it feels easier. Now, today. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You protect your heart like the treasure it is. Because it is. Your heart is precious. It's not something to gamble with on a whim or out of misplaced hope. You get to decide who deserves a place in your life and who doesn't. You get to draw a line in the sand and say, this far, no further. And then you stand firm on that line. You don't cross back over it. Not even once. Think of your boundaries as a fortress. A fortress built not of stone and iron, but of clarity and courage. Every no you say is a brick. Every time you remind yourself of your worth, you lay down mortar. It's hard work, yes, but it's the only defense you have against heartbreak's relentless siege. When they tried to tear you down before, it was because the walls were weak. Now you're rebuilding, stronger, higher, impenetrable. Stop thinking that boundaries are a punishment. They're not a weapon to wield against others, they are a shield to protect yourself. When you say no to toxic calls at midnight, no to messages that stir up pain, no to invitations that don't honor your healing, you're not being petty. You're being wise. You're choosing peace over chaos. You're choosing your sanity over their drama. Remember, you don't owe them anything, not an explanation, not a second chance, not a crumb of your attention. And yes, it's going to feel lonely. Setting boundaries often means standing alone at first, but loneliness beats the slow decay of your self-worth. It beats the endless replays of what-ifs and whys. You have to get comfortable with saying no. You have to get comfortable with that silence that follows, because that silence is the soil where your healing takes root. Don't confuse boundaries with bitterness. You're not building walls to keep out love or kindness. You're building walls to keep out pain and disrespect. You're creating a space where you can grow without fear of being crushed. You're telling the world and yourself that you matter enough to be protected. The hardest part is sticking to your boundaries. The first time you bend, the fortress cracks. The first time you say yes when your gut screams no, you weaken your foundation. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their permission to move on. You need to honor your own rules. Your boundaries are not suggestions. They are non-negotiable. It's okay to remind yourself daily. It's okay to repeat the truth over and over. I deserve respect. I deserve peace. I deserve love that doesn't hurt. When the temptation to let them back in creeps up, remember the pain they caused. Remember the nights you cried alone. Remember the promises broken and the lies told. This isn't about punishing them. It's about protecting you. You might worry that setting boundaries makes you look cold or unloving. That's a myth. Boundaries are the truest form of love you can give yourself and to others. It's better to be honest and clear than to live in a shadow of confusion and hurt. When you say no, you're not shutting people out. You're creating the space where the right people can come in, and the right people will come. When your fortress is strong, you attract those who respect your walls and want to build alongside you. You attract those who treat your heart like the treasure it is. Not everyone deserves to be inside your walls. Not everyone should get the key. You don't have to carry the weight of every relationship. You don't have to be everything to everyone. Letting go of the idea that you have to keep everyone close is liberating. You're not weak for walking away. You're strong for standing up. You're brave for saying no when it hurts. You have to let go. Stop waiting for closure. Closure is a myth when you're dealing with someone who never truly cared. You create your own closure by building your boundary fortress. This isn't a one-time fix. It's a daily practice. It's the armor you put on every morning before the world tries to shake you again. It's the promise you make to yourself that you won't go back to the pain because you deserve better. You have to protect your heart fiercely. You have to be your own guardian when no one else will be. You can't protect others' feelings at the expense of your own. You can't keep reopening wounds just to prove you're loyal. Loyalty to someone who doesn't care is self-destructive. It's time to stop glorifying pain as loyalty. Your loyalty belongs to yourself now. Your job is to guard your heart with every ounce of your being. Remember what you learned before. Obsessing doesn't heal. Emotional dependence traps you in their world, not yours. Grief is your battlefield, but boundaries are your weapons. They're what keep you standing when it feels like everything else is falling apart. You don't have to be a victim to heartbreak. You don't have to carry the blame or the shame. You're the one who decides how close they get. You're the one who controls the gate. You're the one who rebuilds the walls stronger and higher than before. This isn't about punishment. It's about preservation. It's about survival. You deserve to stand firm, to say no, to protect what's left of your heart with everything you've got. The fortress you build today will be the foundation for your tomorrow. It will keep you safe from the storms that come. It will remind you that you are worth protecting, that you are worth fighting for, and that you don't have to do this alone. You're on a journey now, one that leads away from pain and toward peace. But that journey requires owning your role. No more victimhood. No more letting the past dictate your future. You're in charge. You always have been. And it starts with the boundaries you build today. Chapter 7. Own your role. No more victimhood. Playing the victim keeps you trapped. It's a cage built from pain, confusion, and unanswered questions. When you say, "Why did this happen to me?" or "They hurt me, so I'm powerless," you give away your power. You let the heartbreak write the story of your life. But here's the truth you need to hear. Responsibility is not blame. Responsibility is freedom. It's the key that unlocks the door to healing, strength, and a future where you matter first. You have already faced the brutal truth. They don't want you. You've stopped glorifying pain as loyalty. You've cut the rope on emotional dependence. You've grieved like a warrior. You've reclaimed your time, and you've built your boundary fortress. Now, it's time to own your role in all of this, not to punish yourself, not to drown in guilt, but to learn, grow, and take back control. Playing victim means you see yourself as helpless, like a passenger in your own life. You wait for someone else to fix you, to apologize, to come back. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. You don't need their apology to heal. You need to stop waiting for someone else's actions to define your worth or your peace. It's not about them anymore. It's about you. And that starts with owning your role. Owning your role means looking at the hard parts without flinching. Where did you give too much? When did you ignore the red flags? Maybe you stayed silent when your gut screamed that something was wrong. Maybe you made excuses for their bad behavior because you wanted to believe in a future that didn't exist. That's not weakness. That's human. That's heartbreak. And it's time to acknowledge it honestly. Look back at those moments, not to punish yourself, but to learn. Because every time you gave too much, you sent a message. I am worth less than my own boundaries. Every time you ignored a red flag, you told yourself, I don't deserve better. Those messages became the foundation of your heartbreak. They didn't cause it, but they allowed it to settle in and fester. You have to rewrite those messages. You have to start telling yourself something different. I am worthy of respect. I have the right to protect my heart. I will not ignore the signs that say I deserve better. This is the work of empowerment. This is how you stop playing victim. This is how you take your power back. Empowerment doesn't come from blaming yourself. It doesn't come from beating yourself up for what you didn't see or what you ignored. It comes from learning, from growing, from saying, I made mistakes, but I am not my mistakes. Your past is a teacher, not a judge. Let it teach you how to recognize what you deserve. Let it guide you to stronger boundaries and healthier relationships. When you own your role, you stop spinning in circles. You stop replaying the same painful scenes, hoping for a different ending. You stop torturing yourself with what-ifs and if-onlys. You start moving forward with clarity. You start choosing better for yourself. You start healing. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's necessary. Because as long as you see yourself as a victim, you are stuck. You are powerless, and heartbreak will keep finding its way back to you. You have to let go of the story that says you are helpless. You have to step into the story where you are the hero, the survivor, the one who refused to stay broken. This isn't about pretending you were perfect or that you didn't get hurt. It's about accepting your humanity and the messy, painful lessons that come with it. It's about saying, yes, I was wrong to ignore my own voice. Yes, I gave too much when I should have held back. But that doesn't define me. It doesn't control me. You are not your mistakes. You are not your pain. You are the person who can learn from both and rise stronger. This is the moment you stop blaming and start owning. You stop being a passenger and take the wheel. You stop waiting for someone else's validation and give it to yourself. The next step is to rewrite your story, to change the way you see yourself, your past, and your future. To stop letting heartbreak be the author of your life and start writing your own chapters. You are not broken. You are healing. You are growing. You are becoming whole again. Remember, responsibility is not blame. It's freedom. Freedom from the pain that keeps you stuck. Freedom from the lies you tell yourself to justify holding on. Freedom to love yourself fiercely and protect your heart fiercely too. So look back, see your role clearly, and then let it go. Learn from it, grow from it, and get ready to rewrite your story, because the best chapters of your life are still unwritten. And this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Chapter 8. Rewrite your story. You are not broken. Heartbreak hit you like a freight train. It knocked you down and left you sprawled on the cold floor of your own life. But here's the truth you need to hear right now. You are not broken. Not really. The pain you feel doesn't define you. Your response to that pain does. This moment, right now, is your chance to rewrite the story you tell yourself every single day. The story that's been whispering, I was abandoned, or I am unlovable. It's time to shut that voice down. It's time to say instead, I survived. I will thrive. You have to stop giving power to the narrative that they left you empty, that you're somehow shattered beyond repair. That's a lie you're telling yourself because it's easier than facing the raw, uncomfortable truth of your own strength. Heartbreak is brutal, yes, but it doesn't get to write your future chapters. You do. If you keep telling yourself the story where you're the victim, where you're the broken one, that's exactly who you'll stay. If you want to heal, if you want to move forward, you have to flip the script. You have to become the hero of your own story. Think about the words you use when you talk about what happened. I was abandoned. That's powerless. That's stuck in the past. What if you said, I survived abandonment? What if you said, I faced pain and I'm still standing? There's a huge difference. You don't get to control their actions, but you do get to control what those actions mean to you. You do get to decide if this heartbreak is your end or your beginning. This isn't about ignoring the pain or pretending it didn't hurt like hell. It's about owning it and then using it as fuel. It's tough love for your soul. You need to be ruthless with the narrative you tell yourself. No more victimhood. No more why me. No more waiting for their apology or closure. They already showed you who they are. You don't need them to validate your pain. You don't need them to fix what they broke. You have everything you need inside you to rebuild. Start by noticing the stories you tell yourself when you're alone, when the silence is deafening, and the memories flood in. What are you saying? Are you saying, I'm worthless or I'm broken? Stop right there. That's a lie. Replace it with, I'm learning or I'm growing stronger. You have to be deliberate. You have to fight for your own narrative every day. Because the mind is a battlefield, and if you don't take control, the enemy wins by default. Stop thinking about what you lost and start thinking about what you can gain. This heartbreak is a chapter, not your whole book. There's a future waiting for you that they can't touch. A future where you're whole again, but on your own terms. You don't need someone else to complete you. You are already complete. You just have to believe it. You have to speak it into existence like your life depends on it because it does. You're going to have to practice this. It won't be easy. Some days the old story will creep back in like a thief in the night. That's when you fight harder. That's when you remind yourself, I am not broken. I am becoming. You are building a boundary fortress around your heart, stronger than any pain they caused. Remember how you learned to build boundaries. This is the emotional version of that. Protect your story. Protect your healing. Don't let anyone, including your own doubts, steer it down. Rewriting your story also means cutting out the self-pity and the what-if games. Those thoughts are poison. They keep you chained to a past that no longer serves you. You don't have to relive every moment. You don't have to analyze every text or call or silence. Stop waiting for closure. It doesn't come from them. Closure comes from you, from the day you decide to stop looking back and start moving forward. Use your heartbreak as a wake-up call, not a breakdown. Let it be the moment you say, enough. Enough of the lies. Enough of the pain controlling my life. Enough of believing I'm not worthy of better. You are worthy. You are worthy of love that doesn't hurt, of respect that doesn't question your value, of happiness that doesn't come with conditions. You have to believe that with every fiber of your being. Here's what helps. Write it down. Write the old story, the one where you feel broken. Then write the new story, the one where you rise. Read the new story every morning. Say it out loud when the night is darkest. Make it your truth. When your mind tells you you're nothing without them, respond with, I am everything on my own. Because you are. You don't need to wait for a sign from the universe or a change of heart from them. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you, about reclaiming your power, about standing up and saying, I am not my pain, I am my healing. You're not broken. You're becoming something stronger, something better. So stop waiting. Stop hoping they'll come back or change. They won't. They already showed you who they are. You have to let go. You have to rewrite the story you tell yourself every day. Because your story isn't over. It's just getting started. And the next chapter, it's going to be about creating a future they can't touch. Chapter 9. Create a future they can't touch. You have to understand this. The best revenge is not bitterness. It's not dwelling on their mistakes or replaying their indifference on loop. The best revenge is a life so full, so vibrant, so unmistakably yours that they can't touch it. They can't reach in and shake your foundation. because you built it with your own hands. They don't get a seat at this table anymore. This isn't about revenge in the petty, childish sense. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about showing up for yourself in ways they never could, in ways they never wanted to. You've already done the hardest part. You faced the brutal truth. They don't want you. That truth stings, but it's also your clearest path forward. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. Now, you stop looking back. You stop shrinking yourself to fit the outline of someone who never valued you. The future you create doesn't have a space for them. It's a future of peace, not pain. A future of growth, not grief. Here's how you start. Build goals and dreams that leave no room for them. Not in your heart, not in your mind, not in your life. When heartbreak hits, it feels like your energy is drained, like your soul is fractured. But this brokenness can fuel something new. Channel that heartbreak energy. Use it as the fire that pushes you forward, not the weight that drags you down. Pick something you control. Fitness, art, career, travel. These aren't just hobbies or distractions. They're your weapons. They're your fortress. You decide to wake up each day and invest in yourself, in your body, your mind, your soul. You choose to sculpt a version of yourself that no one can diminish. When you put your pain into movement, into creation, into progress, it becomes a force that can't be stopped. It's your rebellion against the heartbreak. Think about fitness. When your heart is shattered, your body can still be strong. You can run, lift, stretch until your muscles burn and your breath catches. Each drop of sweat is a declaration. I am here. I am alive. I am more than your absence. The pain in your chest might still throb, but your body is becoming resilient. You are proving to yourself that you can endure. You can build. You can rise. Or art. Let your emotions spill onto paper, canvas, or screen. Paint the chaos. Write the raw truth. Sing the sorrow. Create something that comes from the depths of your broken heart. Art doesn't need permission. It doesn't ask questions. It just lets you be. When you channel your pain into something tangible, you reclaim it. You turn what tore you down into something powerful, something only you can make. Career is another battlefield. Pour your heartbreak into your work, your ambitions, your goals. Show up every day and be relentless. Be the person who doesn't quit, who doesn't look back. Every step forward is a step away from the past that hurts you. Every achievement is a stone laid in the foundation of your new life. You don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You need yourself. And you owe it to yourself to build something that no heartbreak can break. Travel, change your scenery. See new places. Feel new things. When you move your body through the world, you shake off the weight of the past. The world is vast, and your pain is just a small part of it. You have the power to choose where you go, who you meet, what you see. Make your future a collection of memories they will never be part of. Your story is yours alone. Fill it with moments that bring you peace, joy, and growth. This isn't about running away. It's about moving towards something better. Visualize this future relentlessly. See a life where their absence is no longer a wound, but a space of calm. Imagine waking up and feeling peace instead of pain. Picture yourself smiling without the shadow of what you lost clouding your face. This future isn't a fantasy. It's a plan. It's a promise you make to yourself. And every step you take toward it is a step away from the heartbreak that once held you hostage. You don't have to wait for their apology. You don't need their recognition. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to let go of the idea that your happiness depends on their presence. It doesn't. You are enough. You have always been enough. Now, it's time to live like it. Remember, this journey demands honesty. You've already done the hard emotional work. The grief, the rage, the acceptance. Now comes the building, the creating, the relentless moving forward. Don't pause. Don't look back. The future you want is on the other side of this pain, but you have to keep walking. You'll stumble. You'll falter. Some days, the weight of loneliness will feel unbearable. That's okay. This is a process, not an instant fix. But each time you fall, get back up. Each time you doubt, remind yourself of this truth. Your life is yours to own. You get to decide what it looks like. You get to decide who belongs in it. Stop wasting energy on what you can't control. The past is done. They already showed you who they are. Stop hoping for something that will never come. Instead, put that energy into your future. Build a life so full, so rich, so undeniably yours that their absence feels like freedom. This is your revenge. Not bitterness, not anger, not obsession. A life well lived. A life that flourishes beyond their reach. You have the power to create that future. You don't need them anymore. You never did. Keep this close. The only way out is through. The only way past this heartbreak is to move hard, move honest, move forward. You owe it to yourself to make this pain the foundation, not the prison. Stay hard, stay honest, keep moving. Chapter 10. Stay hard, stay honest, keep moving. Healing never moves in a straight line. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly feel fixed. It's not a neat process with clear milestones or checkpoints. Instead, it's a battle fought every single day. Some days you're standing tall. Other days you're on your knees, heart shattered, feeling like you've lost the fight. But here's the brutal truth. Falling doesn't mean you fail. You don't stay down. You get back up. You keep moving. Remember, this isn't about weakness. It's about grit. It's about showing up for yourself, even when the weight of heartbreak feels unbearable. When those old triggers hit when a song plays, when a memory flashes, when your mind drags you back to what was you need to remind yourself why you let go in the first place. You have to anchor yourself in the reality you fought so hard to face. They already showed you who they are. They don't care the way you hoped they would. You walked away because you deserve better. You walked away because you're worth more than their silence, their neglect, their absence. Don't let those moments fool you into thinking you're back at square one. You're not. You've come too far to be pulled under by a tide that no longer serves you. You have to stay hard. Stay honest. Stay true to the fierce commitment you made to your own heart's freedom. This fight is yours. No one else can do it for you. And no matter how many times you stumble, your worth doesn't shrink. Your strength doesn't disappear. It's okay to feel raw. It's okay to feel hurt. That pain is proof you're human, proof you love deeply, and proof you're brave enough to heal. But don't mistake feeling pain for staying stuck. You have to refuse to settle for less than you deserve. Less than respect. Less than truth. Less than someone who sees your value and fights for you. You might catch yourself thinking, maybe if I just try harder, if I love more, if I wait a little longer. Stop. Those thoughts are a trap. They keep you chained to a story that's already over. You have to let go, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their acknowledgement to move on. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. Your peace, your future. When the nights get long and your mind spirals, use that moment to check in with yourself. Ask, why did I choose to walk away? Remind yourself of the lies, the broken promises, the coldness that pushed you out. You didn't leave because you stopped loving. You left because you started respecting yourself enough to demand better. That respect is your foundation. Build on it, brick by brick. Commit to your own freedom like your life depends on it because it does. Freedom isn't just about breaking the chains of someone else's neglect. It's about reclaiming your story, rewriting your identity, and refusing to let heartbreak define you. You are not the pain you felt. You are not the mistakes you made. You are not the silence they gave you. You are the warrior who chose to rise again. This means you have to be honest with yourself, even when it hurts. No more glossing over the truth. No more pretending everything's fine when inside you're screaming. Healing requires brutal honesty. It demands that you look in the mirror and say, I was hurt. I was betrayed. But I'm still here. And I'm still fighting. That honesty is your armor. It's what keeps you grounded when the past tries to pull you back. Staying hard doesn't mean shutting down your heart. It means strengthening it. It means setting boundaries that protect your soul. It means telling yourself, I will not accept crumbs. I will not settle for less. The moment you lower your standards is the moment you invite more pain. You deserve better than that. You deserve a love that's fierce, consistent, and real, starting with the love you give yourself. Keep your focus on what you can control. You can't rewrite their story or change their heart, but you can control how you respond. You can choose actions that honor your healing. When you catch yourself obsessing, stop, breathe, redirect your energy. Fill your hours with things that remind you of your worth, friends who lift you up, work that challenges you, hobbies that bring you joy, self-care that nurtures you. Build a life that's so full and vibrant that their absence becomes a whisper, not a roar. Don't wait for closure. Stop hoping they'll come back or explain themselves. They won't. Closure isn't something they give you. It's something you create inside yourself. It's the moment you say, I am done waiting. I am done hoping. I am done hurting for someone who never cared enough to fight for me. That declaration is power. That is freedom. Healing is messy. It's unpredictable. One day you feel like you've conquered the mountain, and the next you're crawling back up from the valley floor. That's okay. That's normal. But you cannot let the setbacks fool you into giving up. You have to hold fast to the truth that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Every tear you shed is a step closer to peace. Every time you choose yourself over pain, you win. There will be moments when the loneliness feels unbearable, when the silence screams louder than any words ever did. In those moments, remind yourself, you are not alone. Every person who has ever loved and lost has been right where you are. But those who heal are those who refuse to stay broken. They keep moving. They keep fighting. They keep choosing themselves. This journey is yours alone, but it's not without hope. The promise is this: if you stay hard, stay honest, and keep moving, you will find a life that no heartbreak can touch. A life full of light, love, and a freedom so fierce it makes every scar worth it. You have to let go of the idea that healing means forgetting. It doesn't. Healing means accepting. Accepting the past, accepting the pain, accepting that the story ended. But then crucially choosing to write new chapters filled with your voice, your strength, your love. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. This is about you reclaiming your heart, reclaiming your time, reclaiming your life. You're not just surviving this heartbreak, or becoming someone stronger because of it. So when the triggers come, when the grief returns, when the nights feel end'll stand firm, stay hard, stay honest, keep moving forward. You fought too hard to turn back now. The next step in this journey is to take control of your story completely. It's time to write a future they can't touch, a future where your happiness isn't a question mark, but a declaration. You started this journey broken, but you're ending it unbreakable. You faced the truth. You grieved the pain. You stopped feeding your heart to someone who didn't care. Now you hold the reins of your own story. You knot them, decide how it ends. Healing isn't a destination, it's a choice. A battle you fight and win every single day. So stand tall. Guard your heart like the warrior it is. Because letting go isn't losing. It's reclaiming your power. It's clearing space for a love that deserves you. Keep moving forward. Keep fighting for you. Your best self is waiting. Right past this heartbreak. Don't look back. You've got this.